San Antonio starts right now.
We will hunt you down in any hole that you may be residing in and bring you to custody. Period.
This morning, the search continues for a man suspected of shooting and killing 4 people in Atlanta. We have the latest on the investigation and the efforts by authorities.
A man shot 5 times fighting for his life this morning. What San Antonio police are saying about the person they arrested.
And taking a live look out of the Alamo City, 78 degrees to start your Sunday morning. How hot will it be? Will we break records today and the coming week? We're going to check in with Sarah Spivey in just a few moments. But for now, good morning. It is 6 o'clock. It is Sunday. Thank you so much for starting your morning with us. Yesterday, did you end up going outside?
We did for a little bit.
Go for like a little walk?
No, It was more of like walk to the car.
Okay.
Car to the bike shop. Walk from the parking lot for the bike shop to the restaurant. And that was enough.
Okay.
It was enough.
You did check on the KSAT garden.
I did. Oh, yeah, yesterday morning I watered all my plants at home, too. Yeah, that's just part of the daily routine. They are surviving, not thriving.
I
feel like that is the story for all the vegetation around our area.
My bougainvillea is surviving, not thriving. I water it every day. And it's so hot outside. We got another record yesterday, and we're going to have another one today, another record high around San Antonio. So enjoy temperatures in the 70s temporarily. 74 in Kerrville, 74 Uvalde, 79 New Braunfels, 75 in Rock Springs and in Hondo. It's 79 here in San Antonio. And here's a look at your KSAT 12-hour forecast. By 10, we're going to be at 87 and mostly sunny. By noon, 95, and in the afternoon, forecasting 104 for the high. That'll beat the old record by 1 degree. Heat index is not going to be as much of an issue today, which is some good news. Not quite as much humidity out there. And coming up in the forecast, we're going to be talking about Saharan dust and what that means for our forecast in just a few minutes. Max and Sarah.
Thank you, Sarah. New this morning, a man in jail after police say he robbed and threatened to kill 2 different people. So take a look at your screen. This is 19-year-old Angel Puente. Now, the arrest records show that this situation unfolded Friday morning at Hemisphere Park. Police say 2 victims were approached by Puente. That's when he grabbed the victims' car keys and ran away. The affidavit reads that Puente allegedly pointed a gun at them, threatening to kill them if they followed him. Officers caught up to him later and took him into custody.
A 22-year-old man is in critical condition this morning after being shot 5 times near his home on the city's west side. San Antonio police say this happened yesterday just before noon at the Vivid apartment complex on Oak Hill Road. The victim was taken to the hospital with gunshot wounds to his arms, legs, and stomach. Police tell us they arrested a man wearing all black clothing with gloves and a face mask. They have not confirmed if that was the gunman.
And San Antonio police now asking for your help trying to find the person responsible of an aggravated robbery that happened earlier this month. Take a look. Police say a victim was putting air in his tires at a gas station on Vance Jackson near Future Drive. 2 men approached him with guns. They stole his car, stole his wallet. One of those suspects was then later seen using the victim's credit cards in multiple stores. If you do recognize the person on your screen, you are asked to call the Robbery Task Force Unit. That number on your screen, 210-207-0300.
A family is without a home this morning after a cigarette caused a fire and damaged their home. Yesterday afternoon, it happened at a house near Nacogdoches Road and Loop 1604. The fire started at the bottom of the pillar in front of the home, then spread to the attic where it caused most of the damage. Right now, fire officials indicate a discarded cigarette could have sparked the flames. Investigators say the family should be able to move back into the house in 2 days.
Well, the more than 2-week manhunt for a fugitive in Pennsylvania, that manhunt now over.
State police confirming a man who escaped from a county jail is back behind bars this morning.
ABC's Dave Packer has the latest developments on how the man was caught.
After 9 days on the run, 34-year-old Michael Burham is back in police custody. The 34-year-old, described by police as a self-taught survivalist with military experience, escaped from the Warren County Jail in Warren, Pennsylvania on July 6th. Late Saturday afternoon, police got a big break. A tip from some residents who saw someone suspicious behind their home in West Warren.
While the dog was barking, went to the rear of their property. They encountered Burham. I'm told that a conversation occurred, a brief conversation, asked him what was he doing there, and he said something about camping, and the owner of the property recognized him, got his wife back into, they were in a golf cart, got his wife back into the golf cart, and drove away from there so that he could immediately contact us as Burham fled into the woods.
State police say search teams set up a perimeter and took Burham into custody without incident.
Looks tired and worn out, as we thought that he might. He's still wearing his prison pants turned inside out. He's dirty, wet.
On July 6, police say Burham used bed sheets tied together to lower himself off the roof of the jail. He was being held on kidnapping and burglary charges. Officials say he's also a suspect in murder and rape charges in Jamestown, New York. He was not armed when captured, but police say ammo was found in stockpile bags they say they discovered. Police say Burham was carrying a map with locations to those stockpiles. Whether he received any kind of help is still under investigation. Dave Packer, ABC News, New York.
And authorities in Georgia searching for a man suspected of shooting and killing 4 people yesterday, 3 men and 1 woman. Investigators say this suspect, Andre Longmore, shot and killed the 4 people near a neighborhood in Atlanta. Several law enforcement agencies involved in the search, including the Georgia Bureau of Investigation. The names and ages of the 4 people shot and killed not yet released, but right now, police offering a $10,000 reward. Any effort trying to find the suspect.
Police in Fargo, North Dakota are trying to figure out why a gunman opened fire on officers while responding to a crash on Friday. 1 officer died in the shooting. 2 others were critically wounded, and a 25-year-old bystander also hurt. 1 officer returned fire, shooting and killing the gunman. Police say that shooter also fired at firefighters responding to the crash scene. Investigators say it's unclear if the gunman was involved in the initial crash, but early reports indicate that he was not.
Well, pilots with United Airlines reaching a tentative agreement with the airline on a new 4-year contract. The new deal will give pilots a substantial pay raise, up to 40%. The Airline Pilots Association says the agreement also includes better retirement benefits, job security, and it addresses quality of life issues. The union says the agreement ended a situation that has lasted for 4 years.
No winner.
Winner chicken dinner.
No winner for the Mega Millions jackpot Friday. And although there was no winning ticket, Mega Millions says 4 players won at least $1 million. Nice. So I take that. 2 tickets sold in California and 1 in North Carolina matched all 5 numbers to win that $1 million prize. While in South Carolina, 1 lottery ticket matched 5 and the Megaplier for a $2 million win. That's why you always got to pay for the extras. The prize for Tuesday's drawing has now climbed to an estimated $640 million. Still need to find out if anyone won Powerball last night. I have not checked my ticket. That's, I believe, 860?
860, 870.
Yeah, something like that.
Not bad.
Not bad.
I'd be fine with like a $2 win. Just good.
Oh, you know, the $2 wins, after you win them a couple of times, they get old. $9 wins, they get old. I'm waiting for like...
No winning is so hard.
I know. I just, waiting for my $1 million. Someone at HEB scratch off $1 million in San Antonio.
See, I always complain. I'm like, why can't I win that? But I also don't play.
Yeah, you can't win if you don't play, Max.
Look at that. Michael Jordan is here. 608, 78 degrees.
A dinner to support first responders and their families. When we come back, more from last night's 25th annual spaghetti dinner fundraiser and what the San Antonio Fire Department is celebrating.
It's been tough out there for firefighters having to deal with responding to these issues in this heat. We're going to check in with Sarah Spivey in just a few moments. Another record getting knocked down today? We're going to see.
First responders, their families, and friends gathered around yesterday to celebrate another year of the San Antonio 100 Club with the 25th annual spaghetti dinner fundraiser.
So this annual event raises money each and every year supporting first responders right here in San Antonio. Last year, the club sold more than 6,500 plates. So this year, the goal was to get to 7,000 among last night's festivities. Also, the 9th edition of the 100 Clubs of Meatball Eating Contest, challenge accepted. For the first time ever, the San Antonio Fire Department going home as winners. San Antonio 100 Club President Richard Miller says this fundraiser goes so much deeper than just the dinner.
When you come support the spaghetti dinner, you're supporting our first responders in their mission and their families.
So if you missed out on the fun, you can still swing by this evening, get a taste at the Christopher Columbus Society Banquet Hall, 11 a.m. to 6 p.m. I'm now interested in the meatball.
They just showed how big they were. They're like, standard.
Okay.
Standard. Look, there they are, Max. You think,
Okay.
How many of those?
How many? I don't know. And also, what's the time constraints here?
We've already talked about the hot dog competition.
Yeah.
How many hot dogs we can eat.
Yeah.
Need you to calculate that.
Okay, I
while
got
we're doing
you.
the forecast.
Deal.
Hey, guys, the rain is tempting to our north. It looks like it is moving south.
Come on over.
Yeah, but
you can do it.
ain't gonna happen,
Oh,
unfortunately.
darn.
We're gonna be locked into heat, but here's a look at the here's a look at the radar across the state of Texas, and you can see that there are some storms out in North Texas and even as far south as San Angelo right now. Areas nearer to Dallas, Fort Worth are going to be dealing with the potential for severe weather today. So if you have friends and family across North Texas, these are the areas that could be seeing some severe weather. Dallas to Waco to East Texas to Lufkin down to Alexandria and into parts of Louisiana as well. That's where an isolated severe weather threat exists. But again, here in San Antonio, we are going to stay dry, all because the heat high is staying strong, and we're on the wrong side of that heat high when it comes to rain chances. Take a look at temperatures across the nation today. Really, the desert Southwest is going to be dealing with some of the hottest temperatures ever on record there. 117 in Palm Springs, 114 in Las Vegas, 116 in Phoenix, and Furnace Creek, Death Valley, that's Death Valley, forecast high of 128, the all-time hottest temperature ever recorded on Earth, recorded in Furnace Creek, 130. So only 2 degrees shy of the all-time hottest temperature ever on Earth. It's Death Valley in Kuwait at 130. So very, very hot out across the desert Southwest. We're going to be hot too, just not 130 outside. 79 degrees outside right now in San Antonio. We've got mostly cloudy skies. These clouds are temporary. They're going to give way to sunshine. It's going to be 87 at 10 o'clock, noon 95, and then in the afternoon forecasting a high of 104. That will beat a 34-year-old record set back in 1989 of 103. So we're likely going to be at a record. Notice that the heat index not too much hotter than the actual temperature. And here's the reason why. Dew points right now are high. It is very humid outside. You feel that humidity the second you step outside. But watch what happens to dew points this afternoon. They really start to plummet. We start to see drier air mixing in the afternoon. And so we're not going to have much of a heat index value this afternoon. It's the small victories, right? It's still going to be hot out there. It's going to be 104 in San Antonio, 107 in Del Rio, 105 in Pleasanton, 107 in Cotulla, 102 in Canyon Lake, 101 in Kerrville. It'll be 101 in Helotes, 105 in Castroville, 105 in Floresville and in Pleasanton, 103 in Seguin. Let's talk about a hot button issue. Let's talk about Saharan dust. So there are some very light concentrations of Saharan dust out there. We get these plumes of Saharan dust every year in the summertime in South Central Texas. And again, it's very light. You won't notice any major dip in air quality or your allergies. If you're struggling with your allergies, it's likely because we're spending so much time indoors because of the heat. But as we look toward Wednesday, again, just a very thin plume of Saharan dust. It's not until late next week that we could potentially see a denser cloud of Saharan dust move into the Gulf. This would suppress any kind of tropical storm activity. So the tropical storm activity goes down, and we'll have to wait and see if this denser cloud can move into South Central Texas. Otherwise, our weather pattern is going to be pretty much the same every day over the next 7 days. Highs ranging anywhere from 102 to 106 around San Antonio. We'll be challenging records just about every single day. And guys, when you look at this, there's not much hope, right? It's going to be hot and 100 plus with lots of sunshine, but I am starting to see a potential weather pattern change beyond the 7-day forecast that I'll talk about in the next half hour.
Rain?
We'll see.
Ooh.
Honestly, there's a small chance, yeah. So,
okay.
So tune in the next half hour and I'll let you know. the details.
We'll be here.
Okay, sounds good, Sarah.
Thanks, Sarah. 617, 78 degrees.
Stinging caterpillars, yes, they're back in San Antonio. We'll tell you what you need to look out for so you don't get stung.
They look interesting.
I'll explain.
Oh, okay. Look at that tease. All right, speaking of interesting, look at this. We got Texas-sized cookies, new spot in San Antonio that's serving them up. When we come back, KSAT producer Priscilla Carriman gives us an inside look.
Okay, are all eyes on the lottery. Pick 3288, Fireball 9, Daily 4, 5443, Fireball 9.
And your cash 5, 2, 5, 22, 24, 34. Lotto Texas 8, 31, 38, 44, 47, 49. Here we go. Powerball, do you have your ticket out?
Oh my gosh, I didn't even check it.
This is like a live reaction.
I could have, I know, after the break, I'll have to
Here
go
are your numbers. 2, 9, 43, 55, 57, Powerball 18, Power Play 2. Good luck. We'll be right back.
A new spot in town just opened up, and this time it's Texas-sized cookies. KSAT producer Priscilla Carriman got a sneak peek inside, so let's take a look.
There's a new cookie spot here in San Antonio, and it's trending all over social media. So we went inside Cookie Plug to see what all the hype's about.
We're from SoCal, we're from Los Angeles, born and raised, kind of tired of corporate life. And we were looking at franchises, and my wife's cousin in LA was looking at this at the same time. So we looked at it and we're like, oh man, this is SoCal. Like, it would be so fun to bring SoCal here. They're Texas-sized cookies, right? We have 16 different flavors, 12 flavors that are our daily flavors. We have a flavor of the month every month that switches out, and then we have 4 different keto flavors as well. Fresh daily, we make them every day. Like, we start our day at 7 a.m. right now, but we make them fresh in the morning and sell them out throughout the day.
All right, what are we thinking?
I don't know. I'm
That's
just
fair.
I'm like a thin cookie girl.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
a thin melt.
You're also the one that likes the thin burgers, too.
Right.
Yeah,
I like things thin.
that's fair.
My food.
I got nothing to add to that. Time's out. Just about 6:23, 78 degrees.
After the break, let's look what's trending on KSAT.com. Look at your screen, because this is kind of terrifying. A
Oh.
fish that someone snapped a picture from at HEB, and it wasn't the price of the fish that had them talking.
Good morning and welcome back. So if you're like us, you've seen this picture. It's a fish on display at HEB. I showed it to Sarah yesterday. One customer saw it. They took the picture showing this unique looking fish. So the fish's mouth full of sharp teeth, catching people's attention. The shopper told KSAT that he took the photo because it was on the HEB, at the HEB
Oh, that's
on
my
Austin
HEB.
Highway.
Oh, my
Fantastic.
God.
You should pick it up. We'll grill it. It'll be delicious.
Of course, it's at my HEB.
He wasn't sure if the creature in the case was for fun or if you could actually eat it. Turns out you can eat it. It's a monkfish and the tenderloin of the sea, or what some people are calling the poor man's lobster. It's said to be mild and actually sweet.
Okay, now I gotta walk.
So when you go to HEB today,
I go to HEB every day.
you should just, it was fairly affordable because we saw the price tag in the window. I'm saying we could use the KSAT grill. We'll do a coalition between us and Texas Eats.
Too many teeth on that fish. Okay. There have been several sightings of stinging caterpillars of different varieties here in San Antonio recently. Well, that's normal because it's summer. And if you happen upon one of these furry creatures, it's best to leave it alone. Don't touch it, because touching certain stinging caterpillars species like asps can cause contact rashes and pain. Sometimes the pain and rash will go away in hours, but sometimes it takes a couple of days. Experts say these caterpillars are furry and fluffy with different colors. They use these as scare tactics for their predators.
Okay.
People send me pictures of these all the time.
They're kind of scary looking.
They're going to turn into moths, so they're important for our ecosystem. Never kill one of these.
Yeah.
Don't spray it in wasp spray or pesticide because you're scared that's going to sting you. They're not going to sting you unless you're actively touching it. If it's in the way, get a paper plate, like scoop the plate under, you don't have to touch it, and move it to a bush, a
Got
tree.
A whole strategy here.
Oh, it's a whole ecosystem at the Acosta household.
Love it. All right, time now 6:28, 78 degrees.
All right, still ahead, a local gynecologist is speaking about the over-the-counter birth control pill, his thoughts on the safety of the medication.
Good morning, welcome back, and happy Sunday. 6:32 this morning. So you made it outside. Were you dodging sunlight?
Always dodging sunlight.
Living in the shadows?
Living in the shadows,
Okay.
like a vampire.
Okay, fair enough. Sarah Spivey, did you make it out and about?
You know, I did a little bit, but you know, you got to get out in the next couple hours because it quickly becomes hot. By the way, today will make 22 days of triple-digit weather. So this year to date, 22 days, including today's forecast. By this time last year, though, we had 37 days. So we're still trailing behind last year's 100-degree count, although we have had more 105-plus degree days this year than we did last year. A lot of us feel like these splooting squirrels, don't we? Just trying to hang out, trying to stay cool. This guy's got it made because he's got the cool bench and he's got the bird bath right there. So I don't know about you, but send in more pictures to our KSAT Connect feature on our weather app. We love to show those pictures, especially on days like today where it's just going to be hot again. 82 at 9, 90 at 11. We'll already be at 98 at 1 p.m., 104 for the high. We're likely going to beat a record again today, and there will be a bit of a breeze from the south at 5 to 15 miles per hour. But it's not all bad news. Even though weather is going to look very similar over the next several days, there is a small glimmer of hope beyond the next 7 days. Details ahead. Max, Sarah.
Thank you, Sarah. San Antonio gynecologist speaking about birth control that will soon be available on store shelves and even online.
Camelia Wattis has an overview of the over-the-counter birth control pill and the impact that could have on millions of people.
This medication is very similar to the one that we give to patients that are breastfeeding. So it is as safe as someone who's breastfeeding their baby.
UT Health San Antonio and University Hospital gynecologist Dr. Gabriel Medrano says O-Pill, the first over-the-counter birth control pill in the U.S., is safe and effective. Plus now, it's convenient.
It should make their life easier if that's their decision. Sometimes patients cannot get to see a physician for many reasons, busy schedule, lack of insurance.
Dr. Medrano says people with breast cancer or people with a history of blood clotting shouldn't take the pill. He recommends seeing a doctor right away if you notice abnormal bleeding. The FDA approved the drug for all women of reproductive age, including teenagers. Some question whether it will be safe.
I feel a little bit sad because, women are left with that option as their last resort, really.
Dr. Medrano says O-Pill may not be for everyone.
Actually, it's case by case. In that moment, especially if the patient is young, that should be discussed with the family and also the physician.
Overall, Dr. Medrano believes this recent approval from the FDA is a victory for women's health care.
Having this medication available is another way of empowering our patients.
That's Camelia Wattis reporting. A new report says contributions are slowing down for Republican presidential candidate Ron DeSantis. He posted a strong $20 million in the second quarter, but it quickly fell off in weeks after he announced his White House bid. Filings say about 15% of individual donations came in amounts of $200 or less. FEC filings show about 90 people were on his campaign payroll in the second quarter. The New York Times reporting that DeSantis has started cutting campaign staff just months into his presidential bid as he has struggled to gain traction in the Republican primary and lost ground in some public polls to former President Donald Trump.
Well, headed to Houston, the mayor of Houston announcing that the city plans to spend millions of dollars to relocate families from neighborhoods located near a rail yard. So that rail yard actually polluted by a wood preservative that's been linked to cancer. It's actually been blamed for an increase in cancer cases in Houston. Now, health officials have found higher rates of respiratory cancers as well as childhood cancers. Mayor Sylvester Turner says relocating families from the among 100 properties that have been affected could cost up to $26 million.
State lawmakers are ordering Texas school districts to secure schools with armed officers and to train more staff to identify students who may need mental health support. This new set of mandates fall under legislation that's set to become law in September. The new school safety law will grant the Texas Education Agency more authority to make sure schools have robust safety plans to respond to an active shooter. According to a 2020 assessment report, it is something about half of all Texas school districts lacked some requirements, such as armed officers, that might be challenging for public schools to implement by the upcoming school year with limited funding and staffing constraints. The legislation does not punish schools for not having an armed guard at every campus.
Now to a big update to a story we first told you yesterday. Police in Hoover, Alabama say that the woman who disappeared after stopping to help a toddler on an interstate, she has been found. Carly Russell last seen Thursday after she told 911 dispatchers that a toddler was walking alone on the interstate. The Hoover 911 Center got the call late Saturday that Carly has returned home. Police and medics went to the scene to assess Carly. They took her to the hospital to get evaluated.
Happening in less than 30 minutes in West Bexar County, a portion of Highway 211 will close so CPS Energy crews can install new power lines. So the part of the 211 that intersects Culebra Road will be closed from 7 to noon while crews work. We are told those new lines are needed because the current ones are just getting too old. You can find more information about the closure on our website. Just head to KSAT.com and look for the story.
All right, time to talk basketball. No Wemby, no problem. San Antonio Spurs still in action. So Texas ex Sir Jabari Rice making his Spurs and NBA Summer League debut on Friday. Spurs taking on the Detroit Pistons in Vegas. Rice looking pretty good, playing efficiently. He sat out the majority of the summer due to low iron levels in his blood. All of this, according to a report from the Express News. In 16.5 minutes off the bench, Rice putting up 11 points, 2 boards, an assist, a block shot, and a game-high 3 steals. Shooting 50% from the floor, making 4 of his 8 field goal attempts. And in the end, the Spurs would fall 79-73. But he was asked how he felt about the situation.
I think I'm in a good spot. I've had about 3-4 weeks off, so I haven't played 5-on-5 like that in like 3-4 weeks. So it was good to see one go through. But I really came out and I didn't try to score, try to get back to where I was. I just tried to play in the means of the game and just try to get a win ultimately. And we were on track for that, but we came up short. But it's okay. I think we got better today. Guys understand different things. We got to talk a little bit more to each other. But it was just ultimately good to be back.
It's crafty. It's definitely crafty. He finds ways to put the defense under pressure, and you know what? He's a good teammate. He's very communicative. He was like that during when he wasn't playing, but now out on the court and on the bench, I thought he's good all-around basketball player, but good teammate too, which is great to have.
Love the fake shot and then beautiful pass inside for the easy layup. All right, so Spurs guard Blake Wesley. Another off-night shooting, making just 3 of his 17 field goal attempts, finishing with 10 points. Before the game at the morning shoot-around, he was asked what he thought of Rice.
He's a great defender, great person overall. He practiced yesterday with us for the first time. I've seen some of his highlights, so he's a great person, good player, can play defense, can score, team player, so that's what we need.
That's what we need, all right. City Kosoko had 6 points in the loss, highlighted by this monster slam in the 4th quarter. Getting teammates up off the bench. Love to see it. All kinds of pumped up. So Spurs not done yet. Playing this afternoon, finishing out their time in Vegas, taking on the Oklahoma City Thunder. Tip-off set for 4:30 p.m.
Football coverage brought to you by Davis Law Firm.
Now the gridiron, where the heat and humidity not slowing down. 80 kids, local kids, going to DeMarvin Leal's first ever football camp. So Leal held his camp at Judson High School at DW Rutledge Stadium. Turned himself into a 5-star recruit, so no better spot for the Big Ocho to teach these kids the game he loves and the sports that's given him so much. He went one-on-one with Leal right before camp started. Expected he was super pumped to get back home, give back to the community, and had some help, players like Spencer Buford.
Feeling amazing out here at Judson High School, just getting the kids ready to go, about to get them stretched out, and memories are coming back to me like faster than ever, but I'm loving it.
Who do you have out here today?
Right now we got Spencer, we got Darren Brown, we got Kevin Wood, we got Donnie Moody, and man, we got a couple more alumni that's gonna come back in a little bit, and we're going to get these young youth stretched out, ready to go and get some good work in.
What do you want these kids to take out of this camp?
That, you know what I'm saying, even on a Saturday, you can still come and get some work in, and you know, you can do it for your community, you can do it for yourself. It's just a matter of who you want to be and how you want to do it. So just happy that these kids came out to have fun and get some work in.
Love it. So Marv said it feels amazing to be a role model for the local kids. And at one point, he himself was attending camps like these. Leal playing for the Steelers will leave for training camp later this month. Love to see when guys make it, they come back, they help out the community.
Love that.
All right, time now 6:42, 78 degrees.
Still ahead on GMSA, Dolly Parton coming up with new ways to get children excited to read, what the star is doing during the month of September, and how your child can take part in it.
And the Bexar County Commissioner's Court introducing a new initiative to promote gun safety. More about the steps they're already taking and how you can be a part of it.
78 degrees at 6:42. Will we hit another record heat high today? Sarah Spivey will let us know when we come back.
Welcome back. In an effort to promote responsible gun ownership, the Bexar County Commissioner's Court, they're introducing the Gun Safety for Bexar initiative. It's going to focus on gun safety and improving community security. Along with University Health, the Commissioner's Court will take steps to prevent accidental gun discharges and unauthorized access to firearms, especially when it involves children. To start, the county gave away 3,800 handgun safes and 1,000 handgun cable locks free of charge for gun owners who wanted them.
These gun safes and gun locks are just an additional layer of safety to try and keep our kids safe.
Nearly $150,000 being provided through the American Rescue Plan Act. You can register for the next events at gunsafetyforbear.org. And we saw quite a bit of people out and about in the heat yesterday, Sarah, waiting to get their gun locks.
Keeping cool in a way because, you know, absolutely. Yesterday we saw a record high temperature, and today we're going to do it again, guys. It is going to be another hot day. This time it's a 34-year-old record we're probably going to beat.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, take a look outside. This was the high temperatures yesterday. We got up to 104 in San Antonio, which beat the old record of 102. Now, that record yesterday was set in 2020. But as we look at forecast highs, we're going to be challenging records just about every single day in the coming days. So today, I'm forecasting 104. That'll beat the record set back in 1989 of 103. That's a 34-year-old record we're likely going to beat today. Even tomorrow will be a degree shy of the record set back in 1932, and we're likely to beat a record on Tuesday. We'll be a degree shy of the record on Wednesday and on Thursday as well. So it's abnormally hot outside, some 10 degrees, hotter than average this time of year, and we're continuing to shatter records this summer. Temperatures out there right now in the 70s, so enjoy it while you can. It's 73 in Kerrville, not too bad up in the hill country. 82 in Del Rio, 77 in Eagle Pass, 79 in Carrizo Springs, 78 in New Braunfels. It's 79 in Converse, 76 in Hondo. Good morning around Rio Medina. It's 71 degrees, not too bad out there, and it's 72 in Bernie. Looking at your KSAT 12-hour forecast, mostly cloudy skies right now, but then by 10 we're going to be mostly sunny. 87 degrees at 10. By noon, already in the mid-90s, and then in the afternoon we'll be in the triple digits. Forecasting 104 for the high temperature today, right around 6 p.m. Notice, though, that the feels like temperature, the heat index, is not going to be all that higher than the temperature, and that's because in the afternoon the humidity is going to come down. It's still going to be hot, though. 107 in Del Rio, 106 in Carrizo Springs, 107 in Cotulla, 105 in Pleasanton, 99 in Rock Springs. The cool spot on the map is 99. That's how hot it is. 101 in Kerrville, 105 in Devine, 103 in Seguin, and 105 in Nixon, Smiley, and in Floresville. But as I mentioned, it's humid outside right now. Dew points are in the 70s. That's at the top of the scale. But watch what happens to humidity this afternoon. Dew points really start to come down. It actually becomes dry outside in the atmosphere in the afternoon. So it's going to be a dry heat in the afternoon, but right now it's still humid. All right, let's take a look at the weather setup. Man, this is so tempting when you see the rain to the north of San Antonio. There's some rain in San Angelo, some storminess approaching the DFW Metroplex and that I-35 corridor. But unfortunately, all this rain is going to stay north of San Antonio. Austin may even get a few sprinkles this morning, but here in San Antonio, we're going to stay dry. Heat high remains firmly in place. Look at these temperatures around the center of this heat high. 116 in Phoenix, 117 in Palm Springs, 128 in Furnace Creek, Death Valley in California. Exceptionally hot. Now that heat high is actually going to move over closer to San Antonio in the coming days. So we've got to bump up those high temperatures just by a few degrees Tuesday and Wednesday. It's going to be very hot across the state of Texas. We'll be at 105. But here's the good news. That heat high will move off to the west by the start of next week. So we're still going to be hot all week long, but at the start of next week, we're talking Sunday and Monday, the atmosphere is going to be opened at least to the opportunity for an isolated shower or storm. It's not going to be much, but at least the opportunity will be there because honestly, the next several days, the weather pattern is going to be pretty stagnant. Temperatures well into the triple digits. We're going to be adding on to that triple digit tally. Still 2022 last year takes the cake for the most 100 degree days. It takes second place for the most 100 degree days. But we're going to be knocking on its door for sure. I mean, it's very hot over the next several days.
Ugh, 105.
I know. I know. But at least the humidity will not be as high.
Thanks, Sarah.
Thank you, Sarah. Just about 6:51, 78 degrees.
Elon Musk is going AI with a new company launch. We'll tell you his goal behind it next.
Good morning and welcome back. All right, new AI company, Elon Musk launching his new company focused on artificial intelligence. It is called XAI because, you know, he has a company called X Company. The company's website states that the goal is to understand the true nature of the universe. Can't get more ambiguous than that. In an interview in April, remember, Musk warned that AI, artificial intelligence, could lead to, quote, civilization destruction. He also then joined other tech leaders in calling for a 6-month pause in the race for artificial intelligence development, and now he's starting a company that's focused on just that. He also owns several other companies, including but not limited to Twitter, which apparently is down about 50% revenue since he's bought it, Tesla, and SpaceX.
Dolly Parton is hoping to encourage more kids to read. Her program that mails free books to children will offer a chance to meet the star. The Imagination Library program has so far gifted 200 million books to young children globally since it launched in 1995. 7 Dolly bookmarks will be randomly hidden inside books during that were gifted during September.
This is like the Willy Wonka ticket.
The lucky recipients will receive a video chat with Dolly herself. In order to be eligible, children must be enrolled in the program by July 31st.
Saves the world, gives out free books, does it all.
She really is like the queen, like superstar.
Time now, 6:55, 78 degrees.
Here's a look what's coming up on Good Morning America.
All right, clouds have already started to clear. It's 78 degrees this morning and just a little humid out there. Looking at the forecast for the day today, we'll be at 87 at 10, 95 at noon, 104 for the high. That's going to beat a record set back in 1989. South winds today at 5 to 15 miles per hour. Take a look at the forecast, if you dare. It is going to be so hot over the coming days. Temperatures ranging anywhere from 102 to 105 in San Antonio. Just about every single day we're going to be challenging records. We are in the thick of summer. The good news is beyond the next 7 days, we're talking about next Sunday, Monday, there's a slight weather pattern shift that would hint at least a chance for isolated rain. I'm grasping at straws here to find positive things to talk about in the forecast because as you can see, we're in it for the long haul right now.
Ooh.
I know.
Not great. How does the drought look?
Drought monitor is really bad across the hill country. Exceptional drought. But hey, at 8, we've got a really great interview coming up.
Oh, yeah. So we've leading SA at 8. With something we talk about all the time, mortgage rates now above 7% on average for 30-year. It's a huge increase because during the pandemic, it dropped all the way down to like 2.65%. So we have Ronnie Trevino coming on, local realtor. We're going to be talking about the market impact. We've seen some of the trends that we talk about. So don't miss it. We'll see you back here, 8 a.m.
See y'all at 8.
from KSAT 12. Good Morning San Antonio starts right now.
Mexican officials responding to the buoy blockades. We're going to take a look at when the next steps for Mexico are and what they're saying.
A shooting on the city's west side leaves a man in the hospital. What police are saying about the suspect they have in custody.
And taking a live look out at the Alamo City. The sun is up and temps are going to rise. We're going to check in with Sarah Spivey for another record-breaking day. But for now, good morning. 8 o'clock this Sunday. It is July 16th. Thank you so much for joining us this morning.
Good morning.
Like we said yesterday, middle of the jive, really starting to feel like it, and real comparisons to last summer.
Yeah. I'm sorry, I was about to sneeze. I'm like trying to.
Are you okay?
Indoor allergies.
Indoor allergies, Sarah Spivey, are a thing because we're spending so much time inside.
Yeah, just because it is so hot. But some people have been looking out at the night sky. I want to start the forecast. Bless you, Sarah. Now, you may have to squint and get a little bit closer to your screen here, but you can see very clearly. See how there's a line of lights here in the sky? Well, that mysterious line of lights in the sky, we've been getting a lot of pictures about this, asking what these are. They are Starlink satellites. Starlink is a SpaceX-owned group of satellites that are actually designed to improve internet function around the globe. I am currently working on a KSAT article all about the Starlink satellites, but they kind of look creepy, right? Almost like they were created by intelligent beings. Well, they were us. Humans as the intelligent beings. That can be argued, of course. 79 degrees outside right now, 79 in New Braunfels, 77 in Hondo, and 81 in Del Rio. It is going to be hot today. Temperatures are already climbing and skies are already clearing. By noon, we'll be at 95. In the afternoon, we're going to be in the triple digits, 104 for the high. Notice, though, that the heat index is not going to be as much of a factor. Today's forecast of 104 likely going to beat a 34-year-old record. Details on that and Saharan dust in the air as well coming up in just a bit. Sarah and Max.
Sarah, thank you. New this morning, a man is in jail after police say he robbed and threatened to kill 2 people. So this is 19-year-old Angel Puente. The arrest records show this all unfolded Friday morning at Hemisphere Park. Police say Puente walked up to the 2 victims, and that's when he grabbed their car keys and ran away. The affidavit says Puente allegedly pointed a gun at them, threatening to kill them if they followed him. Officers caught up to him later and took him into custody.
And new this morning, an overnight crash involving a motorcycle shutting down multiple lanes of 410 overnight. Take a look. This was a scene around midnight. This is Southwest Loop 410, southbound main lanes. This all unfolding near U.S. Highway 90. What we know right now is a motorcyclist was involved, as you see right there on your screen. The motorcycle laying right in the middle of the road. Crews on the scene say that they saw at least one person getting put into an ambulance. As you can see by all the lights on the screen, SAPD, the fire department, EMS, and TxDOT Hero all responding to the situation. Now, this was midnight. Lanes have since reopened. We do expect to learn more information about the crash throughout the morning.
A 22-year-old man is waking up in the hospital this morning after being shot 5 times near his home on the city's west side. San Antonio police say this happened yesterday just before noon at the Vivid apartment complex on Oak Hill Road. The victim was taken to the hospital with gunshot wounds to his arms, legs, and stomach. Police tell us they arrested a man wearing all black clothing with gloves and a face mask, but it's unclear if that person is the actual gunman.
Now the latest at the border and the Mexican government's reaction to the buoy blockade. Mexico stating that the move to put the buoys in the water, that may be a violation of a water treaty. Mexico's incoming Secretary of Foreign Affairs says that the Texas deployment of the buoys on the Texas-Mexico border, an effort to prevent migrants from crossing the Rio Grande, it's a clear breach of the 1944 water treaty between the U.S. and Mexico. Mexico sending diplomatic letters to our country, and the secretary plans to send an inspection team to the river to see if the barrier extends onto Mexico's side. And if it does, and if it impedes the flow of water, that would violate the treaty. Well, the current average 30-year fixed mortgage rate is 7%, higher than 7%, and that is a long way from the below 3% that we saw during the peak of the pandemic. So what impact are we seeing these high rates What impact are we seeing on the local housing market?
Such a high rate. To help answer that question in today's Leading SA segment is Ronnie Trevino with Keller Williams Heritage. Good morning, Ronnie. Thank you so much for joining us this morning.
Thank you, Sarah. Good morning. Good morning, Max.
Good morning, Ronnie. So right off the bat, what impact have you seen the rate have on our local housing market?
Well, rising interest rates, inflation, an increase in housing inventory have definitely caused homes to stay on the market much longer than they did last year. However, the fact that the average home price has only come down about 0.5% to according to San Antonio Board of Realtors' latest press release is pretty promising for prospective sellers and investors.
Okay, so we have seen home prices in other cities around the country like Austin, Phoenix, just dramatically since the start of the pandemic jump. So what are we seeing locally and why?
When it comes to other major counties in the state, San Antonio's median home sales price remains relatively affordable. And there are several reasons why San Antonio is in high demand. First of all, we have a great job market. We have affordable housing, and we have population growth and military presence. All these factors which make San Antonio one of the best real estate markets in the nation. So we're holding steady as compared to those other major metropolitan areas.
Now, I'm glad Sarah brought up Phoenix and Austin because it seems like they're in that kind of a bubble that could ultimately pop in some sort. Are the prices that we're seeing, the price increases since the start of the pandemic, is this sustainable?
That's a great question. The outlook in San Antonio looks great, according to the factors that I just mentioned. And we do think these prices are sustainable, Max, and suspect further increases once these rates start coming down. I feel like San Antonio, in comparison to the rest of the nation, we're still relatively affordable. So home prices haven't taken a dip like in other cities such as Phoenix and Austin.
And you mentioned once the mortgage rates start coming down. So do you anticipate them coming down anytime soon?
I don't think that they're going to come down anytime soon. I feel like we're going to hold steady at 7% or above for a while. But I think they will eventually come down. And when they do, it's going to put San Antonio on the heat radar again when it comes to housing.
Okay, Ronnie, so in regards to trends where we're seeing a lot of homes being bought locally, I mean, we saw it in Southtown about 10 years ago. Same with the East Side, maybe like 4 years ago. What's the trend? What neighborhoods are we seeing that a lot of families are moving to?
That's a great observation about what we saw years ago downtown and in other areas. The trend that we're seeing now, or that I've been seeing more and more of, is that, another thing to consider is that we saw a 14% decrease in existing home sales, while new construction saw a 36% increase. So we're seeing a lot of younger families go to the far west side, outside 1604, towards the Castroville area. There's a lot of affordable new construction homes that are available for sale there. And a lot of these builders are able to provide great incentives by utilizing their lenders. So a lot of people are seeing this as an affordable option and are taking that route.
I'm seeing the same thing with people in Lavernia area. Again, so far, it seems like far west side, far east side, right?
Absolutely.
One of the last questions for you, Ronnie. I'm a renter, I'm an apartment dweller. Are we going to see, rents decrease, and have we seen the same kind of fluctuation as we see in the housing market?
Well, Max, unfortunately, we're going to have to get you out of that renter status here real soon, because rents are holding steady, and actually they're increasing slow but steady. We saw a 3% increase in rents from last year to this year. And, I think one of the major factors in rents, we see all these new buildings coming up. Well, the percentage of single people living on their own has also increased. So I think that we need a lot more spaces to fill. So yeah, rents I don't think are going to come down anytime soon.
See, Max? Ronnie, I've been telling him the same thing. So Max, you have a realtor.
Well, once the mortgage
Max,
rates
give me a
come
call.
down, Ronnie, once that mortgage rate falls, I got you.
You got
Thank
it.
you so much, Ronnie Trevino with Keller Williams Heritage, for joining us this morning. For our viewers, you want to see this conversation in full, it will be on our website later this morning, KSAT.com.
All right, time now, 8:10, 79 degrees.
H-E-B has a new secret menu item.
Oh.
We'll see what unique fish swam onto the shelf.
That's why we want you to have that backup plan so that someone can let us know, so that if we have to deploy a search and rescue effort, we can.
National parks around the country seeing record temperatures. A Death Valley park ranger has something to say. Everything needs to keep in mind if you do plan to venture out and about.
We all know it's hot, which means the ACs inside are being cranked down. So the CPS Energy has recommendations on how to save on your energy bill during these heat waves.
And speaking of the heat wave, taking a live look out at the Alamo City, the sun, it is up, and our temperatures are soon going to be up. We're going to check in with Sarah Spivey how hot it's going to get today. Is there going to be any reprieve in sight? She'll let you know in just a few moments. Good morning, welcome back. And hey, we are in the midst of summer. We talked about how it is so comparable to last summer, especially when it comes to the 100-degree days.
Absolutely. I mean, we have this will be our 22nd 100-degree day here in San Antonio for this year. It has been a very hot summer, which is why seeing the rain up just a little bit north of us near Dallas in that I-35 corridor, it makes me jealous, guys. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah, team jealousy here.
I'm a little
I know that's not
jealous.
healthy, but
I'm not often jealous of Dallas, but today I am.
Dang!
Gauntlet thrown. Okay, so you can see that there are some storms moving toward the Dallas-Fort Worth area. These are because they're on a good position of that high pressure system to allow for these showers and storms to follow the upper level wind patterns, but they are going to be falling apart as they move down to the south. So unfortunately here in San Antonio, we're not going to be seeing any rain from this. Now, one thing to note though is if you do have friends and family out in the DFW area, East Texas area, and I have lived up there before, there will be some isolated severe storms in these areas today. So keep that in mind. But again, here in San Antonio, it is going to stay dry. As we look at the weather setup, that heat high is still maintaining strength, a very strong heat high. You've been hearing about it all weekend long. Take a look at these temperatures, these forecast highs across the desert Southwest. 116 in Phoenix, 114 in Las Vegas, 117 in Palm Springs. And let's talk for a moment about Furnace Creek. That's Death Valley. Forecast at 128 for the high temperature. The all-time hottest temperature ever reliably recorded on Earth is 130 degrees on Earth, not in the United States, on Earth is 130 degrees, and it's going to be close to that in Death Valley today. Outside right now in San Antonio, not quite Death Valley hot, but it is going to get hot this afternoon. In fact, close to record heat. Take a look outside right now, 79 degrees out there, a little bit of a haze on the horizon. We'll talk more about that in just a bit. But as you look at your KSAT 12-hour forecast, mostly sunny skies, 95 by noon, and we'll be looking at 104 for the afternoon high temperature in San Antonio. And by the way, the heat index not going to be much of a factor today. That's good news because the humidity will stay low. When you look at the dew points though out there right now, humidity is high. Dew points are in the low 70s. That's oppressively humid. But in the afternoon, dew points are going to come down into the 50s and 40s. So very good news there for us. That means not as much of a heat index value, if any heat index value this afternoon. So this afternoon, it'll be a dry heat. It's just humid out there right now, and it's still going to be hot. 107 in Del Rio, 107 in Cotulla, 103 in Beeville, 103 in Gonzales, 102 in Canyon Lake, and 101 in Kerrville. As you look a little bit closer to the metro area, it's going to be 104 New Braunfels, 104 in Poteet, 105 at Stinson. Bernie, Bulverde, 100 degrees for the high temperature today. I mentioned that haze on the horizon earlier. There are some very light Saharan dust concentrations out there. Now, this is enough to create a haze on the horizon, but it's not enough to impact your allergies in a major way. In fact, we just expect light to moderate plume of dust through Wednesday. It's not until early next week that we could see a dense plume of Saharan dust move in. And whenever we get dense Saharan dust, that's when it can affect your allergies. If your allergies are bothering you, it's probably because we're spending so much time indoors because it is just so hot. And of course, we've got indoor allergies to contend with too, with HVAC systems and the like. So looking at the forecast, pretty much just hot over the next several days. Now, there is hope in the forecast, but it starts next week. So coming up, I'm going to mention some of that hope. I'm going to show you what I'm seeing over the next 10 days in San Antonio. Details ahead in a bit.
Oh boy.
Hot.
Hot.
Yeah.
Please be safe out there.
Absolutely.
Thank you, Sarah.
Thank you, Sarah. Just about 8:19, 78 degrees.
Okay, speaking of hot, CPS Energy is recommending different ways San Antonio residents can save energy during these hot heat waves. Closing the shades and blinds for windows that are exposed to direct sunlight will help cool down rooms. Turning off and unplugging non-essential lights and appliances can help save you money on your energy bill. And hold off on using those large appliances like washing machines during peak demand hours, which is anywhere between noon and 6 p.m. So for all of these energy conservation tips, just head to our website, KSAT.com.
And of course, one place especially hot right now, Death Valley National Park in California. Forecasters predict this area could reach 130 degrees. They could break the record for the hottest temperature ever recorded on Earth. However, these numbers not stopping visitors. National park officials, they're urging guests, if you are going to go, be smart. There's no guarantee that lost tourists can be reached in time.
This time of year, especially when it's this hot, it's great to have someone back at home who's not on the journey with you, who knows where you're going, when you should be at certain places, and when you should be checking in with them, so that if you don't check in, they know to let someone know that you haven't checked in and where you should have been going.
So in West Texas, Big Bend National Park expected to be at least 110 degrees. Park rangers there say it's best to really just stay off of the trails in the afternoon. And really, what both Sarahs have been saying, stay cool early in the morning.
Stay cool like this bobcat's trying to do in Arizona, poor guy. Reminding you to stay hydrated while you're out enjoying your Sunday. This video is from Michelle Williams. This is in Arizona, and she says this bobcat usually only stays for about a minute, but spent over 10 minutes yesterday drinking water and cooling off in the shade. It's not just us dealing with the heat. It's all of the animals out there, the wild animals. I hope that they're surviving. I leave water out for any little squirrel, bird, butterfly, bee, kitten that needs it.
Yeah. So
I put ice cubes in it too.
I'm going to say you have 2 dogs. What is the secret to beat the heat with them?
I took them to Lowe's yesterday. I needed to run an errand, so that counted as their walk because the Lowe's allows dogs inside. It's like, okay, you're going on a really short walk inside where you're allowed. Yeah.
All right, time now, 8:21, 80 degrees.
Well, it's been almost a month since San Antonio reported its first case of West Nile virus. We'll see what other Texas cities are also feeling the mosquito mob.
And look at this. All right, so if you don't have big Sunday night dinner plans, maybe try some monkfish. Look at this, some beautiful pearly whites on this one. We're going to meet this unique creature that somehow found its way into HEB aisles. Morning and welcome back. All right, here's something you might want to add to the Sunday night dinner menu, or not.
Not.
An HEB customer taking this photo that shows a unique looking fish. So the fish's mouth, it's wide open, it's full of sharp teeth, and obviously it's catching a lot of people's attention. The shopper telling KSAT he took the photo of the fish at the HEB on Austin Highway near Harry Wurzbach.
It's my HEB.
Love it. Herbie, you pick one up for us. Wasn't sure if it was in the case for an early Halloween decoration or if you could actually eat it. Turns out you can actually eat it. This is a monkfish. It is the tenderloin of the sea. Some people call it the poor man's lobster. It supposedly tastes mild and sweet. I tweeted out the picture. I said, look, we got the KSAT grill. Let's go. You stop your HEB today, pick it up. We'll throw it on the grill. We'll meet up with David Elder. We'll do a whole segment.
No, thanks. Okay. Also, no thanks to this. Los Angeles bug control specialists say that the Dallas-Fort Worth area has made the top 5 list of cities with the most mosquito action behind Los Angeles, Chicago, New York, and Atlanta. Just this past week, Dallas reported its first case of West Nile virus almost a month after San Antonio saw its first case. Experts say continue wearing that bug spray, staying away from standing water while mosquitoes are around. I love hearing this. I'm driving to Dallas today. Good.
Phenomenal. Good, great, grand, wonderful. Can we get the bug off the street?
Yeah, that's Sarah Spivey killed a mosquito inside earlier.
Hero.
Yeah.
Thank you, Sarah Spivey.
Inside, and she said there was blood when she smashed it. It's a big
This
one.
is getting real graphic. All right, time now. It's about 8:27, 80 degrees. All right, a lot of news overnight across the country. An urgent manhunt now underway in Atlanta. We're actually going to hear from Georgia police on what happened.
Check this out. Oh, today is the final day for the River City cluster of dog shows. We love dogs on Sunday mornings. So this morning, thanks to our photographer, Kenny, he is live at the Exposition Hall on the grounds of Freeman Coliseum. Doors open at 9. That's in about 30 minutes, so you still have a chance to check out all the furry fun until 5 p.m. What a great day to be indoors and spending it with dogs. Parking is $10. We're going to check back in out there in a little bit in our newscast. Are those huskies?
They are, and I always wanted a husky.
You know they talk, right? They go woo, 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 woo.
Good morning, welcome back. Happy Sunday. Starting the Sunday off with this beautiful show. Dogs are out and about at the River Center cluster of dog shows. We're going to check back with them live on the grounds of the Freeman Coliseum. You should have brought your 2 dogs.
Oh, no.
No?
I don't think they are qualified. In my heart, they are, though.
They are the winners.
They're my adopted mutts.
Oh, I would love it. All right, good morning. I'm Max Massey.
I'm Sarah Costa. It's Sunday, July 16th. It's another hot one.
It's another hot one.
But I love the option of the dog show.
Yeah.
Because it's an all-day family event.
Indoors.
And, you know, Sarah, today is another indoor day.
It is another indoor day for sure. But hey, the next couple of hours, you can get out and enjoy the day outside. It's not going to be until the afternoon that we see triple-digit weather. And speaking of triple-digit weather, today will make 22 100-degree days. Compare this to this time last year when we had 37 100-degree days. So yes, it's hot, but we're technically not seeing as many 100-degree days as last year. Now, don't tell that to this squirrel, though. This squirrel, again, I'm just loving all the squirrels splooting. That's what it's called, splooting, because, you know, that's kind of our entire attitude, isn't it? We just got to find a way to stay cool like the squirrels do. And by the way, there's some water out for this squirrel as well, so that's some good news. All right, in today's forecast, again, it's all about the heat. 82 at 9 and 90 at 11. So you got a few hours here. By 1 p.m., it's going to be 98 and then 104 for the afternoon high temperature. We beat a record yesterday, and we're likely to beat a 34-year-old record today. At least there will be a breeze, south winds at 10 to 15 miles per hour. Coming up, hope for a weather pattern change. I do see some hope. We just got to look a long time into the future. Details ahead. Max.
Thank you, Sarah. State lawmakers ordering Texas school districts to require schools with armed officers and train more staff identifying students who may need mental health support. So this new set of mandates, it falls under the legislation that's set to become Texas law in September. The new school safety law will grant the Texas Education Agency, the TEA, more authority to make sure our schools have robust safety plans. These plans need to be in place to respond to a terrifying situation like an active shooter. Here's the scarier part, though. According to a 2020 assessment report, it's something that half of all school districts in Texas do not have. Some requirements include things like armed officers, and that could be a big challenge for a lot of public schools who need to implement it by the incoming school year because they don't have enough funds, they don't have enough staffing. Here's the thing, though. The legislation, technically, it does not punish schools for not having an armed guard at every school. All right, well, as of an hour ago, Highway 211 in West Bexar County, it's closed, so CPS Energy can install new power lines. Officials say new lines are needed in the area because the current ones, they're getting too old. CPS says the work is going to be done by noon, so you only got a few more hours. For more information on the closure and more road projects in and around San Antonio, you can find our story right now. Just head to KSAT.com. Now to a story we've been following very closely, a 2-week-long manhunt for a prisoner in Pennsylvania. Well, it is now over after he escaped jail. State police confirming that man back behind bars now this morning. So families, residents in Warren, Pennsylvania called in a tip just yesterday afternoon after seeing some suspicious activity behind their homes. Now, state police say search teams set up a perimeter. They took the suspect into custody. He was not armed when he was captured, but police say they did find ammunition in his bags. Police say Burham was carrying a mat with locations to some stockpiles. Whether he received any kind of help, how exactly he did everything, that is still under investigation.
Why the dog was barking, went to the rear of their property. They encountered Burham. I'm told that a conversation occurred, a brief conversation, asked him what was he doing there, and he said something about camping, and the owner of the property recognized him, got his wife back into, they were in a golf cart, got his wife back into the golf cart, and drove away from there so that he could immediately contact us as Burham fled into the woods.
So Burham, the suspect, will be held at a different facility than the one that he escaped from.
Well, police in Hoover, Alabama say the woman who disappeared after stopping to help a toddler on an interstate has been located. This story going viral. Carly Russell was last seen on Thursday following a 911 call she made about a toddler walking alone. Hoover called 911 and the Hoover 911 center got a call late last night that Carly is now back home. Police and medics went to the scene to help Carly and took her to the hospital for an evaluation. And now to the urgent manhunt this morning for a man suspected of killing 4 people in an Atlanta suburb.
ABC's Elwin Lopez has the latest in what police in Georgia are now saying.
Wherever you are, we will hunt you down in any hole that you may be residing in and bring you to custody. Period.
Police in southwest Georgia on an urgent manhunt for 40-year-old Andre Longmore, suspected of shooting and killing 4 people.
He was running down the road and took a shot and then took off running out the neighborhood, and that's the last we seen of him.
Hampton authorities say the suspect gunned down 3 men and a woman on Saturday morning. Authorities say the 4 victims were killed in different locations throughout the subdivision, but in close proximity to one another.
This is a sad day in Hampton. It's not normal for us.
This morning, the suspected gunman still at large, and authorities in Hampton issuing a stark warning. Avoid the area, and if you spot the suspect, do not approach him.
And the police chief here telling our affiliate WSB that this all started with an attempted carjacking. As of right now, there's a $10,000 reward for any information leading to the suspect's arrest. Elwin Lopez, ABC News, Hampton, Georgia.
Well, Twitter owner Elon Musk says Twitter is seeing a 50% drop in advertising revenue, and it's carrying a big debt load. So at the moment, Twitter is working with a negative cash flow. More than half of the top 1,000 advertisers on Twitter left after Musk took control of the company last year. Besides a loss in advertising revenue, Twitter is also facing a challenge from Meta's new app, Threads.
You on Threads?
Of course, I jumped on. Was it like last weekend?
Yeah, it was last week, yeah.
And I was on it for a hot second. I haven't looked at it in like maybe 6 days now.
To be honest, it's kind of boring.
It's kind of boring. It's like boring Instagram.
Yeah. Okay, I like that.
Yeah, that's what I'm here for.
All right, you know what I'm here for? Trying to win the jackpot. Powerball, the jackpot, it's getting bigger.
Yeah, no one won last night's drawing for the $875 million prize. I did not win. Tomorrow will be your next chance to claim an estimated $900 million prize. This would be the 3rd largest Powerball jackpot ever.
Even if you...
Commitment you should make to yourself is, I'm for sure going to show up for work on Monday, and I'm going to, behind the scenes, put together a team who's going to help advise me.
Okay, so even if you don't win the jackpot,
yeah,
you'd still win millions.
Right. So you got to play.
That's true.
Okay, and a jackpot winner has a secret for the future lucky winner.
Work on ways to make it residual income so that you're better off than you were before you won the lottery.
Oh, that makes sense.
Okay.
But like if you win $875 million, like even after taxes, we'll say the government takes like 40%.
It's like what, 5, 6?
Yeah, it's like 5-ish. So
Yeah.
you're still fine.
You're fine.
If you somehow squander $500 million,
that's on you. Yeah. That's challenge accepted. No, I would never. I already have a whole game plan, my investments, my charity,
you're good to go.
my family, what we're going to be doing.
Love it.
Yeah.
Never going to see her again.
Never again. Bye.
Time now, 8:40, 80 degrees.
Okay, if you're in the mood for some dogs, who isn't? You'll want to keep it right here. Still to come, our coverage continues. Our photographer, Kenny, is live at the River City Cluster Dog Show, and you're not going to want to miss it.
No. Also not going to miss things trending right now, from KSAT's Pigskin Classic to a Beach Boys concert. There's a lot of stuff going on in and around the city. We'll let you know.
It's already 80 degrees at 8:40, so if you need to take your dogs for a walk, if you need to go outside, take the kids to a splash pad, get up, do it early, drink lots of water, because by noon we're already going to be feeling the heat. Sarah Spivey will let us know what the record forecasted is today.
Good morning, welcome back. Happy Sunday. We have some exciting news. The second annual KSAT Pigskin Classic kicking off August 25th and 26th at the Dome. I'm ready. I got the polo. I know you were like,
oh my gosh,
order
we have
your
to
polo.
order our polos, and if you don't do it, and Max was like, I didn't get the polo emails. I was like, order your polo now.
Got my polo.
You got his polo.
You should get them too.
And because we're going to be out there, and tickets are now on sale via Ticketmaster. Producers like, please just read. At the Alamo Dome box office where those tickets are available.
That's right, but if you're a super fan, you might consider upgrading a luxury suite so you don't miss out on a second of all the action. Suites are available for the Friday and all day for Saturday's 3 games. You can book a suite, call in the Dome directly.
Okay, the Beach Boys, they're getting around to San Antonio this September. The Majestic Theater announced Wednesday that the Beach Boys will play at the venue at 7 p.m. on September 25th. Tickets went on sale this weekend. Grab yours now. Beautiful venue.
All right. Time now is 8:45. It is 80 degrees out.
Sarah.
I think Sarah's supposed to be hanging out.
Hi.
Hi.
Come on.
I didn't realize it was a party.
Talk about how hot it is.
I know it's hot. No one wants to talk about it.
Speaking
but
of
come
the Beach
on.
Boys, it would be
Thank
great
you.
to be at a beach right now.
It really would be, although the heat index in Corpus Christi was past 110.
Ooh.
And you know that water, it's like
bathtub.
hot. It's like hot bathtub.
Oh goodness.
But it would be a good day to go to the beach.
Killed my thunder over here.
Hey, yesterday we got up to 104 in San Antonio. That beats a record yesterday of 102. So we had a record-setting day yesterday, and we're gonna do it again today. Record challenging heat, we're forecasting 104 today. And so guess what? That will beat a 34-year-old record set back in 1989 of 103 for the high on July 15th. And in fact, over the coming days, we're going to be close to, if not beat records. So tomorrow, we're going to be a degree shy of the record set back in 1932. And Tuesday, we're likely going to beat a record set back in 1918. So very hot weather expected for us in the coming days. Although I do have some hopefully good news coming up in a bit. For now, though, here's a look at the clouds and the temperatures. Temperatures are generally in the upper 70s, low 80s. This is the time to go outside right now. It's 77 in Uvalde, 75 in Rock Springs, 79 in New Braunfels. As we get a little closer to the Alamo City, good morning in Helotes, it's 78, 81 Port SA, 79 in New Braunfels, and 79 in Canyon Lake. Here's a look at your KSAT 12-hour forecast. Mostly sunny skies for us. By noon, it's already going to be 95. By 2 p.m., already 100. And then in the afternoon, forecasting a high of 104, 5, 6 o'clock. One thing to notice is that the heat index value is not going to be as high today, but it's still going to be hot everywhere. 102 in Uvalde, 105 in Eagle Pass, 105 in Pleasanton, 103 in Gonzales, 100 in Bernie and Bulverde, 105 Port SA, 103 in Hondo, 103 in Seguin, and 104 in New Braunfels. So let's try to grasp at straws for some good news today. It's humid out there right now. Dew points are in the low 70s. That's at the top of the scale. But watch what happens this afternoon. We actually see humidity come way down. Dew points will only be in the 40s and 50s. That means even though it's going to be hot, it's going to be a dry heat. So not much of a heat index or feels like value today this afternoon when we clock in at 104. All right, across the state of Texas, there are some areas that are getting blessed with some rain from the Dallas-Fort Worth area down to Waco. You can see some showers and storms have developed out there. Unfortunately, we are not going to see any of this here in San Antonio, but if you do have plans to travel up to Dallas or know friends and family, those areas could be dealing with some thunderstorms today. Otherwise, this is a very, very strong and potent heat high across the desert southwest. It's what's making us hot in San Antonio, but it's also going to be bringing 114-degree weather in Las Vegas, 128 in Death Valley, just 2 degrees shy of the all-time hottest temperature ever on Earth recorded. Very, very impressive heat high. As that moves overhead in the coming days, our temperatures are going to go up even more by a couple of degrees, so much so that by Tuesday, Wednesday, we'll be at 105. Are you ready for the good news now? Well, that heat high is expected to at least weaken and move off to the west by the early part of next week. So we still got to wait 7 to 10 days, but there could be a pattern change to us at least seeing an isolated shower or storm possible next Sunday, early into next week, but that's still a long way off. Take a look at these temperatures over the coming days, ranging anywhere from 102 to 105. Again, we are going to be challenging records every single day over the next 7 days. Max and Sarah.
Thank you, Sarah. Okay, here's some good news. Today is the final day for the River City cluster of dog shows. This morning, our photographer Kenny, he's live at Exposition Hall on the grounds of Freeman Coliseum. Doors open at 9. That's in about 30 minutes or less than that, 10 minutes. And you have a chance to check out all the furry fun until 5 p.m. Admission is free and parking is $10.
Being judged against the standard for their breed. So what's the ideal dog for that breed and how does that dog compare? Then from the breed judging, they go into the groups later this afternoon. And again, they're not judged against other dogs, they're judged against their standard. And so who fits best to their standard? And then the 7 group winners go into the Best in Show ring.
I think this is the pointer group. Is that right?
I'm going to be honest with you. I know nothing about dog shows.
I think our producer said yes.
Okay.
Okay, so we're going with pointers.
I wanted to go back to the Huskies.
You know, I just love any kind of dog. And I love that, you know, they get so proud. Like when they're like, they know they're like, oh, I'm doing good. I'm on the spotlight. And hey, but this is such a good thing. Admission is free. So if you guys are looking for things to do with your family, head out to the Freeman Coliseum. Admission is free. Parking is $10. And it's an all-day event. It's a great way to beat the heat. And who does not want to be at a dog show? I want to go out there.
Head out there.
I think I might.
All right, time now. 8:51, 80 degrees.
Baptist Health System is opening a new neighborhood hospital, this time serving people who live in Converse. So tomorrow on GMSA, we'll share a preview and what people in that area can expect.
All right, Sarah.
No, it's a corgi.
We are taking one more look at the River City cluster of dog shows. So this is at the Expo Hall on the grounds of the Coliseum. Head out there right now. It is free. You can check it out until 5 p.m.
At Rubens Bragging Rights, and if you win Best in Show, there's some additional awards or group first. So there are 7 group winners that can go into the Best in Show ring, and then those 7 dogs are eligible for Best in Show.
I love corgis. They look like loaves of bread.
I know. Look, he's so happy getting groomed. Can we just stay on this shot? Sarah, can you do weather over this shot?
Yeah, I can. Sure. The pollen count, we've got low molds.
Oh, we're really doing this.
Do it. Molds are low at 140. And by the way, it's currently about 81 degrees outside, mostly cloudy, but those clouds are going to clear. And then, oh man.
Bye, Corgi.
Bye, Corgi. Bye, Corgi. A little sugar makes the medicine go down easier. Right? 104 degrees for the high temperature today. Not as cute as Corgis to see these triple digits on the map, but that is the case over the next several days. So find a way to stay cool, everyone.
Thank you. And by the way, for those that missed it, that's at the Freeman Coliseum. It's a free dog show going on until 5 p.m. a way to stay cool, and parking is $10.
All right. Hey, have a great rest of your Sunday.
Happy Sunday, y'all.